The Acclaimed are currently the top merch sellers in all of AEW. That's big news. Congrats to them. Obviously, they're very over in AEW as tag team champions. But
Yep.
then some other news broke out that day. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, they released their top tag teams for the year. According to All Wrestling Media at AWEGRP, the top 10 of the PWI Tag Team 2022. Number 1, the Usos. Number 2, FTR. Number 3, the Briscoes. 4, Death Triangle. 5, Hazuki and Tugama. 6, RK Bro. 7, the Good Brothers. 8, the Young Bucks. 9, the Hex. Give up for the Hex.
Number 9 in your playbooks, number 1 in our hearts.
And number 10, Violence is Forever. The Acclaimed, the AEW Tag Team Champions, are not in the top 10. So, Puddy, I have to ask this question. Is the Acclaimed a top tag team, or are they all hype?
They're a top tag team. They're probably AEW's most successful tag team they have. They're the number 1 merch seller because what? They have a catchy, sexy catchphrase, some easy hand gesture, like DX. What other team has a catchphrase in AEW? Who else has a catchphrase in AEW? I can't think of one person, except MJF, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to say
You.
MJF. Oh, I mean, Britt Baker. Yeah. Hello.
Okay, I haven't seen that on a shirt. I've seen DMD shirt, but you can't put the whole hand gesture on a shirt. The whole scissor thing,
Can you?
daddy thing. There's so many angles they can go merchandise wise. Hence why they're number 1. Well deserved. They're a great tag team. I think I've always asked when the PWI stuff comes out, what timetable does it calculate? I think this one was October.
The fact that RK Bro is on there, though, I mean, that's.
They had a good year.
But Randy Orton has been out of action for quite a bit now. Like, I don't necessarily think RK Bro should be the top 10, maybe top 20. Like, the Acclaimed, they've been around during this whole time. You know, like, I
have they?
They have, at least.
I feel like they kind of blew up only during the summer.
They blew up for sure over the summer, but they've been a team longer than that.
They've been a team for the whole 3 years, yeah, but
yeah,
they haven't really been doing much until this whole scissor thing hit. Daddy ass came around.
With the whole raps angle, like, you know, they were catching steam, especially Max Caster. Like, you know, they were trending for quite a bit with different raps that he would have when he did his entrances. You know, like, they were around, they were relevant. And yeah, I mean, of course, over the summer, yeah, they caught a lot of steam at a great time. I don't know, man. I just feel like either they're good or they're not. Like, they're not as good as being advertised. I'm not too sure which one it is, personally. It might be that they're all hype because of the fact that, yeah, I mean, top merch sellers for sure, because I think that has a lot to do with Billy Gunn. I mean, Billy Gunn is a great creative mind. Yes. We've talked about this before in the past. You know, obviously being part of the New Age Outlaws, being part of DX. You know, he obviously is part of the success train that they had of, like, you know, being merch sellers and coming up with ways to get over. And he's a creative dude. He brings that to the Acclaimed, and it's pretty much identical, but yet not, because they're making it their own. So kudos to him for doing that. I don't know, man. I mean, like,
also, was Anthony Bowen's hurt for a long time? They're wheeling around in a wheelchair. He just came back to the ring months ago. That probably plays a factor. Their win-loss record as a team. I had it somewhere, the criteria that is, I can't find it. Someone, I think Jim Cornette was mentioning that there's a lot. They weren't involved in many tag team matches. It was trios matches, 8-man tag matches, 1-on-1 matches. Them as a tag team didn't really do much in the first half of the year. Maybe that plays something into it. But you're right. I don't see why RK Bro will be over them. Good Brothers had a great year in Impact.
I mean, every other team on here, I mean, legitimate claim to be in the top 10. Legit. Yeah, the Usos for sure. I mean, number 1. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. There's people who disagree with this.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that are big fans of the Young Bucks. That they believe they should be number one, I'm sure. And hell, I mean, they were off TV for a little bit too. That may have knocked them down the rankings. They're still in the top 10.
Yep.
The Acclaimed are not on here at all, and I think that's a big deal. That's saying like, hey, these are the top 10 teams that are better than you, and you know it. Or it's an oversight. I don't know which one it is, but either one, I think that goes to show, like, maybe the Acclaimed are not as good as we think they are. Maybe they're just incredibly over, and they won our hearts. But are they really that good in the ring? Like, what was their most the most standout match other than when they won the tag team championships at Grand Slam,
Good question. I don't know.
right? And that was
When did they
more.
win that? That was mid
And I
September, right?
Yeah, that was September. That was
Mid
AEW Grand
September.
Slam. Right. And I remember hearing about this, that the match wasn't as good, but the payoff at the end was spectacular because of the fact that they won in New York. And it was a big celebration. But I remember keeping on hearing people were talking about like, hey, the match wasn't that good. The match wasn't that good. Um, I don't know, man. It pains me to say because I like the Acclaimed a lot, man. They're very entertaining. But is
If
entertaining good enough? Because I'm looking at these tag teams, man. Like, these are some damn good tag teams.
if they keep going what they're doing, because this I found the time series from October 1st to September 30th of this year. And they've been blowing up last quarter of the year. They had a good summer. I don't remember too much about their the winter and the spring. Next year, they'll definitely be in the top 10. They'll probably be in the top 5 next year. So their time is here. Let's see how this year goes out. See how AW does the next 12 months. I think they're just starting out on their careers here in mainstream. They'll be in the top 5 next year without question. Very good.
I mean, yeah, you have what, one, two, you have two. I don't know if you count the Briscoes, they're ROH. You have 3 tag teams on here ranked in the top 10. They're not your tag team champions. And I would have to agree, FTR is a better team.
Oh, because they've been together for longer, more
Right.
experience.
The Young Bucks, you know how I feel about them, but they
Isn't that
might be the better team too.
3 people?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what tag
I
team
don't know which.
are we doing a
I
free
don't.
bird rule here?
I guess so, maybe. And the Good Brothers, they had a little stint in AEW. So could we count them?
They had a great
I don't
year.
know.
Two-time tag team champions in Impact. They had a good year overall.
But every single, yeah, I mean, look at this, Puddy. Would you put the Acclaimed over any of those teams? I would say no.